Happy New Year, guys, and welcome back to the channel. Self Educated Economist here, and today I'm going to be looking at Bitcoin and Ethereum, and looking at what can we expect in terms of price action coming into this new year, particularly the first quarter and possibly beyond. I truly believe that we're currently in a bear market for Bitcoin, so that includes cryptocurrencies, other cryptocurrencies like Ethereum, and just the broader altcoin market. I will mostly look at Ethereum, maybe occasionally look at something else, but yeah, mainly just Bitcoin and Ethereum, as Ethereum is the second biggest cryptocurrency out there. But I think that really the only important one, just to be clear, is Bitcoin. I think Ethereum in the long term will bleed versus Bitcoin when you measure it in this instance. So let's take a quick look at Bitcoin quickly. I was just taking a look at this last night. Yes, I don't celebrate New Year's. I look at charts and other things. Anyways, um, so let's take a look at the monthly chart here. And as you could see here, Bitcoin has on several occasions. So you could see Bitcoin had 3 consecutive red months in a row. Usually, at least this has happened a few times. In the previous bear market, once the bear market was initiated, it had 3 red months in a row, followed by a bull trap, as you could see here. So reclaiming the red moving average in this case. And I do think Bitcoin will recover this red moving average, as it has disconnected from it before moving lower. So right now that red moving average is sitting at 94,400, more or less. And it'll change as time goes on, but I think it'll reconnect in the third quarter, right? Kind of like it did here. Obviously, this was in February and April. But yeah, I think it'll reconnect this quarter. Maybe it'll be this month, maybe it'll be next month, but it will definitely reconnect. I not definitely, but most probably it will before going lower, probably getting down to this target. So you could see the 3 months and then a bounce. Even in this double top, when Bitcoin did the double top in 2021, it had 3 months of red, followed by all-time high, and then 3 months of red, followed by your bull trap, and then lower. Here in this 2019 mini bull run that actually Ben Cowan has pointed out, and I find it actually very interesting, you had the same format here. You had a high, right, followed by 3 red months, followed by what most likely people thought was a bull trap, then heading lower, another bull trap, and then ultimately you had the black swan event of the corona situation. Here, this one didn't play out the same way. This was a little bit different, but you did get, like, not from the all-time high, but you did get these 3 months of so you had the all-time here in November 2013, and then you had, it was bouncing around a bit. Then you had 3 months of red, followed by this bull trap, and then lower. So it did kind of play out to some extent, but just a little bit different, because I wouldn't say this was the real lower high, right? I think this is the real lower high. And this is probably the one that people were like, oh my God, we're getting bullish again, blah, blah, blah. And then, nope, down. I wasn't around during the market at this time. I got into Bitcoin in 2020. Actually, right, literally a month after the Corona dump is when I got into it. And let's look at the last, or the first real bull run, I guess, 2011. Yeah, and there's nothing here. So you have one, two. Yeah, because it didn't play out over here. So you got 1, 2, 3, and potentially the fourth iteration of this potential play of 3 red months in a row, followed by a bull trap. Let's see what happens. Looking here at the 3 month, the quarterly, so it's just opening up, right? So it's a little green dot, right? So Bitcoin, I think, will definitely reconnect with that red moving average at some point this month. But it reconnected last month. So I think we have more down. I think the more interesting one is the 12 month. The 12 month really it's really disconnected, and I think Bitcoin is definitely going to reconnect with this red moving average here. It's a 5 moving average, a 5 exponential moving average. So in this case, it's at 71,000 for the yearly. and I think Bitcoin will definitely get down there at some point this year. Whether it goes up, because I mean, it could rally. Like I mean, it could hit an all-time high, a new all-time high, which I think it's very improbable that happens this year, but anything could happen. But it will reconnect with this at some point because it always does. As you could see here, it was disconnected and it reconnected the following year, and that was your bear market. And here's another bear market, right? So it will. I mean, when it opened up, this reconnected, right? When it opened up, this reconnected, right? So unfortunately, this one wasn't. Last year was not a green candle, unfortunately. But I don't know. Maybe it'll reconnect, right? Maybe it could come down here, reconnect with it, and then late in the year close above the open, which wouldn't be difficult to do. It just needs to be above pretty much $87,000, call it $88,000 by the end of the year. Can Bitcoin do that by the end of the year? Maybe this year won't be red. Maybe that will be the difference. What will be different in this bear market? You see, 2022 was red, 2018 was red, but maybe this year, 2026, which most people would expect it to be red, maybe it will be green, because all it has to do is close above 88,000. Maybe it could come down here sometime in the summer and bounce back and start the bull run, if you will, a little bit earlier. And I don't know. We'll see how things play out, but as of right now, definitely needs to reconnect. And what else? Let's look at the weekly. Anything interesting in the weekly? Yeah, like I said, I'm really expecting a bounce sometime in this quarter. I'm thinking maybe this month, if not February. And that's pretty much it for Bitcoin. I do think it will reconnect here with this 200 exponential. This is a 200 simple moving average on the weekly. It will definitely connect with, not definitely, but I am targeting this number here. But it will move up as time goes on. I don't think it's gonna happen tomorrow. Maybe it'll be like later on in the year, May, April. Maybe it'll get somewhere around here, be in the low 60s. So I am eyeballing that target, low 60 Bitcoin price, juicy price. And it looks like we might even get a cross of this faster moving average below this slower moving average, but this will probably take a couple of weeks for that to play out, for this 21 to get below this 55. And yeah, that's not a bullish sign at all. If that does, I mean, it's already not bullish, but I mean, it'll be even less bullish if that were to happen. Let's see. Every time that has happened, let's see what usually happens in these instances. And probably the most likely one, the most recent one, is this one right here, and then it got down to the 200 simple moving average, right? So yeah, so like your typical bear market situation. Anyway, that's enough for Bitcoin. I'll get back to this on some other time. But now let's take a quick look at Ethereum, which I think is potentially the more interesting chart to look at right now, if my computer wants to work someday. Okay, we're back online. Let's look at the monthly, or is this a weekly? Yeah, okay, so at this weekly, so I'm looking at Ethereum here, and I think Ethereum could potentially get into this range here. So between the 50% retracement level and the spot 382, somewhere in this zone, Ethereum could create a surge, and thus creating a bull trap for most people. And I base that off of the following information. So in the last bull market, 2021, Ethereum essentially went to the lows and started bouncing around, and then it created this bull trap right here. And essentially it got up just above the 50% retracement level before heading lower and bleeding forever. At least bleeding to Bitcoin for a very long time. And then the previous cycle before that one, 2018, it worked its way down significantly. Once it found that bottom, that initial bottom, it had a rally against, or it rallied essentially up above the 382, but not quite to the 50% retracement level. So that's what I'm basing it off of. And during these downturns in the market. It took Ethereum from a weekly basis. It took Ethereum 13 bars, right? So that's 13 weeks to initiate the rally and to the high. What is that? 17 bars, 17 weeks. Let's take a look at the other one. It's probably a lot more on this one. No, actually, no, I mean, it's not a lot more. 20 bars, 20 weeks. Okay, so it's a lot. It's something in the middle. So where are we at now? From the all-time high to we're in the potential. Let's see. So we should almost, well, yeah. So I mean, we're already pretty much at 20 weeks already at this point, right? So can we expect maybe? Yeah, I really expected to do it sometime this month. Then, based off of that, I mean, mind you, it's just only two iterations, but I do expect it's, like I said, maybe at the absolute latest at the end of February to make that rally up to that retracement level and thus creating a bull trap and then heading lower from there. But yeah, it'd be nice to see Ethereum back at that price. Another $500 from current price action right now would be fantastic. Anyways, so that's my update to the market for the first quarter of this year, 2026. Again, happy New Year to everyone out there, and yeah, stay tuned for more videos. And if you're liking the content, don't forget to subscribe and like the video if you like it. If you dislike it, well, do that as well. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Bye.